So, you want to know how much it costs to live in Dallas, Texas? Well, you have found the right place. In this video, we're going to talk about how much it costs to live here, so stay tuned. My name is Jennifer Shannon. I'm a real estate agent right here in Dallas, Texas. In this video, we're going to talk about the cost of living when it comes to buying a home, renting, groceries, health insurance. We're going to compare it to some of the other major cities also. So make sure that you click that subscribe button. I am working on a ton of videos about Dallas, like what it's like to live here, the best areas, and I'm going to continue doing it. So you'll want to make sure to click that subscribe button and that little bell so you are notified whenever a new video goes live. All right, so before we get started, let's establish a few things. So when people who live outside of Dallas generally talk about Dallas, they're talking about the entire area around Dallas that encompasses the suburbs around Dallas-Fort Worth. You'll hear it referred to as DFW or the Metroplex, and sometimes the DFW Metroplex. All right, now that we've established that, let's start with housing prices. This is one of the things that makes living in Texas so attractive. For August 2021, the median price for our entire MLS in Dallas-Fort Worth was $337,308. When you look at other markets in Texas, the median home prices for Q2 2021 were $307,000 for the Houston area and $515,100 for the Austin area. Outside of Texas, the median home price for Q2 2021 was $756,000 for the LA area, $348,600 for Chicago, and $536,700 for the New York City, New Jersey area. So that's owning a house, but what about renting? Well, according to Rent Cafe, the average rent for an apartment in Dallas is $1,338 a month. The average rent in Houston is $1,172 a month, and for Austin, it's $1,539 a month. Outside of Texas, the average rent is $2,450 for LA, $2,012 for Chicago, and in Manhattan, it's a whopping $3,872 a month. Now, if you decide to rent a home that is not an apartment in Dallas County, here are the averages over the last 30 days from today. And by the way, today is September 6th, 2021. A one-bedroom home will cost you about $1,247 a month. A two-bedroom home will cost you about $1,830 a month. Now, a three-bedroom home will cost you about $2,524 a month. And then now for a four-bedroom home, that's actually going to run you $3,063 a month in rent. So that talks about getting into a home, whether you're going to buy it or you're going to rent it. But what about all the other things? Let's talk about the average cost for all the other stuff. And we'll start with homeowners insurance. It's one of those things you gotta have. And in Texas, we're actually on the high side. The average cost of homeowners insurance for a $250,000 dwelling is $1,863 a year. Your energy bill is gonna run you about $175 a month. But the good news is that Texas is deregulated. And this simply means that consumers have options and they can compare rates and services for the third-party supplier portion of their electricity bill. A gallon of gas currently costs $2.65. And again, it's September of 2021. So if you're watching this much later, you can put a comment below and ask about an update, and I'll get you that information. And if you like to go to restaurants to eat, Dallas has a ton of options. And if you want something nice, but not necessarily upscale, you can expect to pay $20 to $30 for an entree. Drinks are about $12 to $15 a piece, and appetizers will run you $10 to $15. Our grocery prices are 1 point below the national average. And you can also see here that we're in a good place when it comes to our positioning with the rest of the country when it comes to healthcare. And we are below the national average. Property taxes. So I did a whole video about property taxes in Texas. We have high property taxes, and depending on where you are in the Metroplex, the tax rate can vary. It's going to range mostly from 2 to 3%. We have PIDs, MUDs, PUDs, and you definitely want to watch that video about taxes in Texas to get more information. Overall, Texas ranks one of the highest for property tax rates. For a home in the city of Dallas that's not in a special tax district, the rate's currently 2.71%. Now, that's property taxes. Then there's our state income tax. Wait a minute. Just kidding. We do not have one of those. Yeah, so our property taxes are a little high, but we do not have to pay a state income tax. So what about commuting? Well, the average one-way commute in DFW takes a little over 28.7 minutes. The median household income for the DFW Metroplex is $72,265. Okay, here we have a cost of living map for the Metroplex. And as you can see, it's pretty large. From side to side of this map, it spans about 100 miles. So there's a lot of space that we consider to be within the Metroplex. And as you can see also, the darker the color, the higher the cost of living. And here's our scale down here. Along the north side, there's an arch that goes over Dallas that is where we get a lot of our higher, more expensive places. And then a little bit here on the south side, there are some expensive places to live also. Now, what's interesting to note is that in the city of Dallas, there are two cities that are located smack in the middle. On the far north is University Park, and on the south side is Highland Park. And these have some of the most expensive real estate in Dallas. And you can get up into the millions. And right outside the bands of these also, so they're in Dallas, but are lumped in with the bigger part of Dallas. But there are some beautiful estates along this north side, and that's Highway 75 that goes north and south in between, that kind of cuts through Dallas County. So, and along here, just to give you some perspective of some things, if you've heard of the $5 billion mile, that's located right around here. The Dallas Cowboys play right around here. The big airport, DFW Airport, is right here. And then we have a smaller Love Field Airport, and that's going to be right about here. And then Fort Worth is on the west side, and this is when you kind of think of typical Texas. They actually have a stockyards here that a lot of people come and visit, where you can see longhorns, and get that kind of big Western experience that some people have fun when they come to visit. So that's kind of a quick look at Dallas. A lot of stuff on the north side, and for new construction, if that's what you're looking for, you have to go even further north because so much of the infill has already been built out. There's not a lot more going on. You can start to find more. There are opportunities in Salina. By the way, we pronounce that Salina, and Anna, and here on the east side as well. As you get out further from Royce City and Caddo Mills, there's some more development going over this way. All right, well, if you have any questions about any of these areas, drop a comment below or contact me. I'm a local real estate agent, and if you're thinking about moving to the DFW area, I can definitely help you with that, and I'll help you find the place that works for you. So finally, be sure to subscribe. Remember, I do a bunch of videos about what it's like to live here in Dallas, so if you're thinking of moving here, you'll want to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified when I post something new. Well, that is all for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye!